Flat Earth theory, like it or no, has gained considerable momentum recently. Despite the fact that Flat Earth is an ecumenical cosmology dating as far back as history permits us to peek, including but not limited to the Vedic, Mayan, Hebrew, Chaldean, Sumerian, and Egyptian worldviews, or that even amidst heliocentric gestation there remained a belief in a flat Earth by a body of intellectuals and spiritual adepts, such as the great Rudolf Steiner, whom in 1921 gave a lecture entitled The Chaldean Flat Earth and Heliocentric Doubts, wherein he said, "It may be boldly asked, where can the man be found, possessing the extraordinary gifts of Newton, who could suffer himself to be deluded by such a hocus-pocus, if he had not in the first instance willfully deceived himself? Only those who know the strength of self-deception, and the extent to which it sometimes trenches on dishonesty, are in a condition to explain the conduct of Newton and of Newton's school. To support his unnatural theory, Newton heaps fiction upon fiction, seeking to dazzle where he cannot convince. In whatever way or manner may have occurred this business, I must still say that I curse this modern history theory of cosmology, and hope that perchance there may appear, in due time, some young scientists of genius who will pick up courage enough to upset this universally disseminated delirium of lunatics." Some still doubt. Was Goethe not prescient when he wrote, "Someday someone will write a pathology of experimental physics and bring to light all those swindles which subvert our reason, beguile our judgment, and, what is worse, stand in the way of any practical progress. The phenomena must be freed once and for all from their grim torture chamber of empiricism, mechanism, and dogmatism. They must be brought before the jury of man's common sense." Or perhaps you'll listen to Nikola Tesla, who ousted Einstein's theory of special relativity as, quote, "a mass of error and deceptive ideas and opposed to common sense," end quote. Tesla termed Einstein and his coterie metaphysicians and, quote, "fairy tale spinners rather than astronomers." Flash forward to today, where Leonardo DiCaprio presents to the Pope a painting depicting a flat Earth and says, quote, "Yet in the back you have Hieronymus Bosch painting planet Earth when many thought that the Earth was still flat," and circles it with his hand. So it represents to me the promise of the future and enlightenment, and it's representational of your view here as well, end quote. Currently, whether it is a cultural appetite for cosmological rewiring or an individuated impulse toward analyzing one's experience, Flat Earth is playing a part by providing a healthy dose of the rational irrational. By rational irrational, I mean evidence for that which seems illogical from a particularly ingrained worldview to consider, though if left to the rubric of logic, is consistent and admissible. A relevant element to consider here is that it is not necessarily easy to, quote, "think new," so to speak, and will involve fits and starts, annoyances and triumphs, as well as good old-fashioned human error and plumb luck. The most fun thing is to watch yourself doubt and watch yourself believe and acknowledge either, yet proceed with a clarity of mind knowing Aristotle himself asserted it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Lastly, perhaps most interesting to me about the prospect of a flat Earth is the inference of a created existence and the influence such purpose and specialness conveys. Also with respect to humor, it was Friedrich Neitzsche who wrote, "And when I saw my devil, I found him serious, thorough, profound, solemn. He was the spirit of gravity, through him all things fall. Not by wrath but by laughter do we slay. Come, let us slay the spirit of gravity." Laughter is possibly the most enjoyable lens to view the way in which Flat Earth appears in reality, whatever the type of media, on the news, on talk shows, in the paper, on a chat board, whatever. In this day is the unique YouTube first-person lens, a lens of self-inquiry, no doubt. This is in and of itself gripping and worthy of note. If you choose to dive into Flat Earth, know that only you design your reality and experience that the best way you can, and do your own experiments or meditations on the matter if that seems interesting, because after all, this life is an experiment with the mystery. My advice, if it be of consideration to you, is to weave in and out of Flat Earth as it suits your curiosity. knowing no single YouTube video can shape all of existence. Just enjoy the ride, because one day you may be staring at the moon thinking that sure looks like it's the same size as the sun, or you'll be standing on the earth feeling awfully still, and maybe, just maybe, you'll wonder if it is a flat stationary disk with the firmament high overhead, and at that point, if ever, you might even wonder how you'd ever thought any different.